Hello, everybody. It is Kendéll Lenice, and welcome to Shine with Kendéll Lenice. I'm so glad that you are here. You know, season 11, we're focusing on relationships, right? Romantic relationships. I asked you guys what you wanted me to focus on in season 11. You said relationships. So that's what we are going to be focusing on. And I'm so excited about my guests. If you've been watching this, oh goodness, if you have been watching this, I don't even know what this series, this season, you would know that it's some stuff going on in some good ways. And so many people, when it comes to relationships, people are struggling and having a hard time, but there are some people that are in healthy relationships, as we seen our last episode. Then you had some relationships that weren't so pleasant, but they still learned from them and they got the lessons that they needed to get from that. I'm looking at this because I want to make sure. I got so excited. I pressed record on the live and I have to make sure I do the audio. So I apologize. Give me one moment, please. All right. Yeah, so it's so important to acknowledge and learn from the relationships that you've been in before. And my guest today is going to do a heart scan on me and you guys. So I'm so excited. So just give me one moment. I want to make sure I have everything here. I got so excited when I started speaking to her. I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute, because I want you to be able to get the audio portion as well. Because again, this podcast has been going for 11 seasons and it's been a traditional podcast, the audio portion. And this season, and then we would do some behind the scenes of the podcast, but then this season, you know, you got to do things differently. I said I want to have this podcast be a visual because we know that people learn in different ways. So just bear with me one moment. I got so excited and we are live, and then I'm going to bring on my guest. All right. All right. So Dr. Tracey is here today. She is a practitioner of the heart and life coach, creator of AIR heart scan process. Dr. Tracey J. Johnson, known as the Heart Communicator, has earned a PhD in philosophy, specializing in holistic life coaching. She is a published author, speaker, life coach, and former host of a Journey into the Heart radio show on KBCN Media and Allowing Love on the Women's Spiritual Network. Dr. Tracey J, her clients testify to experiencing dramatic shifts within their hearts and lives when working with this powerful practitioner. Dr. Tracey, body of work was created as a direct result of her life-changing experience, unconditional love from within her heart and her desire to facilitate others in doing the same. As a presenter of workshops, webinars, and conferences, she has gained a roster of clients from varied walks of life using positive psychology of the heart, exercises, ceremony, and creative craft. She assists participants in opening their heart to a new world in a new way. I'm so excited to have my guest here. I'm trying to get let's see. All right. Without further ado, pardon me, y'all. I got so excited. Just give me 1 second. I appreciate you. All right. Without further ado, Dr. Tracey Johnson. Welcome to Shine with Kendéll Lenice. I'm so excited.
Me too. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Miss Kendall. I'm really excited as well. I'm excited that you're excited.
Yes, I am very excited. And it's so funny because um, I was just anxious to see you, and I'm looking at my device, and it's over there, right there, but it's live. So I had to work what I had right here. I ran and jumped on my on this. But I'm excited to have you, and welcome to Shine with Kendéll Lenice. I see the heart behind you.
Yes. I am the heart practitioner, and everything that I do points to assisting individuals with taking a truthful journey within. Because if you don't go within, you go without. That's what I tell
Mm.
everyone. We always, most often, we look outside of ourselves and try to change things that's going on around us and in relationships and things of that nature. But if you don't go within and be in tune to what's happening on the inner part of you, then it's never going to change. If you don't change, make a decision and change your mind and your heart, you haven't made a decision to change.
I love that. If you don't go within, you will go without. I want to
Yes,
make sure people catch that because the heart is where everything lies, right? Everything
yes,
stems from the heart. And if you
yes,
don't search into your heart and see what's going on in your own heart space, then you're not going to be able to deliver what you need to deliver.
yes. Because as you said, everything that we experience in and of our heart. If you
Right.
just stop and you pay attention, whenever we experience any type of relationship or anything that's going on, like in terms of events, if we just pay attention, because so often we're not in tune to what's going on in our hearts when we're interacting with individuals or finding ourselves in different situations and circumstances. If we pay attention and come in alignment with what we choose to experience as we make choices and decisions, then everything will change. Everything.
Talk about that. That's interesting. What we choose to experience. Can you unpack
Yes.
that a little bit? Because that's powerful.
Yes, because it's everything. Like I can be in the same place that you are, and we are having totally two different experiences because of what's going on in our hearts. So we can make a choice to focus on, the negative aspect of what is going on in the environment, or we can go within and connect to what we know that it is true and right
Mhm.
for us within our hearts, which will afford us a different experience. It's just making a choice. Every single day we have a choice. And I was, grew up in the church as a little girl, and it's this scripture that I always remind myself of, that every day that is placed before us, life and death, blessing and curses. You choose, right?
Mm.
So we make things so difficult.
Mhm.
When if we stop and we really pay attention to what's before us, we would be able to determine. Now, no, that's to an extreme, life or death, blessing and curses. It's not literal. It just means that, is this going to bless my life? Or is this something that is going to cause me to experience something outside of what I choose to experience within this relationship or any situation or circumstance or dynamic? It's about a choice. Everything, and we're
Yeah.
the creator of our reality.
Yes. And if people don't realize what that heart space is like, right? And
Hmm.
everything flows from that heart. But
Hmm.
how do you know, and this episode is called What's Blocking Your Heart from Love? So how do you know if your heart is blocked emotionally from love? Because people out here searching for relationships, or they're currently in relationships, and they can't get past this. Like, you know how you can be like this together. And I'm not talking about physically, but
Hmm.
spiritually, mentally, and even physically, where you feel like you're one, right? You're connected. But then some people are in relationships and it's still that gap right there. Is that because there's an emotional block?
Oh yes, for sure, for sure. And the thing about it is like you may mention, So often we look for love in all the wrong places. And where it begins is that if you don't love yourself, you can't love anyone else. So
Mm-hmm.
the blockage is not so much pointing to the block when it concerns the relationship dynamic with another person, but is an emotional block that you have created. And most often when we have blockages within our heart, it's our way of trying to protect ourselves, right? We put up walls because of our journey and what we have experienced in terms of disappointment or frustration or anger and things of that nature. Those are some of the blockages that we create or that is created within our hearts based on the emotional state. So when people have this misconception that if you create a wall that you're going over your heart, that you're protecting your heart, and it's going to keep you from experiencing emotional pain again. But in actuality, what you're doing is you're blocking and you're walling up the pain and holding it within. Your heart has to be open, not only to receive it, but to allow it to come up and out. Whatever it is, whatever that blockage is, you have to let go and allow it to come up and out, or up and through your heart. And that's the only way that you're going to be able to clear it. Now, when you made mention earlier about doing a heart scan, what I do is I assist individuals to be able to identify what are the emotional blocks, and then providing, the action steps in terms of how to clear them. Because creating a wall and emotional blocks, it not only blocks your experience of love, but it blocks your power.
It blocks your experience of love, and it blocks your power. What kind of power are you
Yeah.
talking about? Because I want people to really get this.
Yes, yes. So, as in doing my course studies and writing my dissertation, I studied every aspect of the heart. That's the reason why I'm
Mm,
called a practitioner of the heart. And so, one of the things that happens is that you, whenever you're, as far as the blockages and your power, your heart creates a magnetic field that attracts things to you. So I
mhm,
know people probably have heard of the law of attraction and probably studied or heard different things in terms of how to manifest and attract things in your life. But with
mhm.
actuality, if your heart, if you're the power that I'm referring to is the power that comes from within your heart when it's fully open and clear and free to attract people, situations, and circumstances in your life. That's what it means to be a deliberate creator, when you are aware of what's going on within your heart, and making choices and decisions, and allowing that power that you have to direct it towards whatever it is that you choose. See, because wherever your attention goes,
Mm,
your power flows. That's the key.
yes. I believe that. Yes, I believe that. I'm a firm believer of that. And it's weird. That's why it's so important to watch your focus and be intentional,
Yes.
because that's where it goes. Absolutely. So I know we talked about I'm nervous. I don't know. And I told Dr. Tracy, she was like, well, we're going to do one on you and then the audience. And if I'm out here doing this and promoting this, then I definitely got to see what's going on, because I think one thing, but it could be something totally different. I have
Yes.
no idea what's about to happen, but then she's also going to do it for you all. So, what made you, and we talked a little bit about it, but what made you want to get into this heart space of this heart business?
Well, what happens is we it was based on my journey. I was always in emotional pain, always in
Mm,
emotional pain. And it was as a result, most often as a result of failed relationships, going back to looking for love in all the wrong places. I was definitely guilty of that. And one of the reasons why we look for love in all the wrong places is because most often as we were growing up, no one taught us how to love ourselves. We look outside of ourselves
yeah.
for others to love us, for us to experience love outside of ourselves, because we don't know what that look like or feel like, really.
Yeah.
to be honest and true. So for me, that's what it was. I got to a point where I got sick and tired of being sick and tired of being in pain. I used to avoid my heart like the plague. Anytime
Mm.
I experience any emotional pain, and so many of us do that. We'll just avoid ourselves. We'll find anything and everything to do in order to not experience the pain. But what
Mm.
happened, and what I found out to be true, is the more you ignore your heart, the more you create emotional blocks that keep you, first of all, from experiencing you and attracting what you choose to ultimately experience when it concerns love into your life. But see,
Yeah.
it goes back to, if you don't go within, you go without. So I had to take an inward journey to learn how to, first of all, love myself and understand clearly what love was. So I'll, share this little story with you. This is something that totally changed my life. Whenever I have a question on my heart before I go to sleep, when I wake up in the morning, I'll hear my answer like loud and clear, right? It's
Mm.
just, even if it's an unspoken answer. So as a result of going through what I was going through in terms of emotional pain and really having a desire to know what love truly was, that's what it was before I went to sleep. It's like, what is love really? I really need to know, so that when I ran across it, or when it was in front of me, I would know it. It wouldn't be any
Yeah.
question. I would know what it was. So I went to sleep and I woke up and I heard love is all there is. It is the
Mm.
creative power
Ooh.
which gives life to everything and everyone. It is
Ooh.
experienced and expressed in many different ways, but to
Ooh.
the degree in which your heart is open to
Mm.
allow love from the inside out, will be to the degree that you will experience it and have the capacity to express it. That's what
Ooh.
I heard. And I was
So
like, oh
love
my
is
God, that was
everything.
some good stuff.
That and you heard that. So you went to bed thinking about that, and God just revealed that to you as plain as day.
Yes, it's the power of God that gives. So the key to it, that to it all, what I received, is that your heart has to be open, not
Yeah.
emotionally blocked with all these walls that you created trying to protect yourself. Because when you do that, you not only block the love from coming in, but you block the love from going out.
Come on. Come
Right?
on. Come on. Because people, like you said, you had been through so much emotional turmoil and distress, and you spent most of your life with your heart all twisted up and your emotions all in there. And there's so many people out there. We've all experienced those moments where it's just emotionally and internally it's fighting itself. You're trying to figure out what to do and how to handle it and which way to move your heart in a way. And when I was little, I used to hate that my heart was so soft,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
then as I'm getting older, because when it gets soft, it gets hurt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Mm-hmm.
so interesting when I was little, and I was like, thank God that he protects fools and babies, because he was like, bless her heart, she don't know what she talking about. I was like, just make me my heart tougher, and I always had such a soft heart and compassion. That's kind of what took me into this line of work, because I do have a caring heart and I do have a soft
Yes.
heart. But
Yes.
if somebody pounces on it, then it kind of toughens up in a way. And sometimes there could be a block for many people
Yes.
without even knowing it. Do you see people that think, oh, yeah, I'm open, I don't have a block? And then you see the block, all the red tape, the yellow tape,
Yes,
block.
yes, 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 and yes. That's what, and it's so amazing. And I was guilty of that,
Yeah.
thinking that, being a practitioner of the heart and heart communicator, like, oh, I know I'm good and all of, no, no, no. But once I really, you can see, I had to do the work first, right?
Yeah.
It's like I had to go through the process, even like creating the heart scan process. There were things that was revealed to me about me during the time that I was receiving and creating the tool that I use to help people to for their hearts to be free. Because
Yeah.
so many people are going through emotional pain and seeking to be freed or be liberated from it. And so I had to find
Yeah.
a way to assist them in a tangible way, to help them to connect with their heart and know that your heart will reveal things to you. And like, this is another story that I have, like, because I was going through all this emotional pain. So I read books, I went to church, read
Mhm.
the scripture about what love was, listened to YouTube
Mhm.
videos and everything. So one day I was listening to
Yeah.
this message, and this lady, on a YouTube video, was talking about connecting with your heart. And she said, if you ask your heart a question, it will answer you. And I was like, really? And I was just really like, didn't believe it. But I said, I'm going to try it. So after I finished, I, sat still and I said, I'm going to ask my heart a question and see what comes to me. So I asked my
Yeah.
heart, what makes you sad? And before I could
Mm.
even think, I heard, when you don't listen to me.
Ooh.
I was like, oh my God. Now, I promise you, I didn't know the answer to that question because remember, I was always in emotional pain. So I
Yeah.
wanted to know why. And my heart said, when you don't listen to me, that's what makes me sad.
Wow. Do you think that most people don't listen to their heart, or do you think people listen
Oh,
to their hearts too much?
no, I don't think people even listen to their heart there. So what I say, it's time to make the shift from your mind to your heart. Because most often we're paying attention to what's going on in our heads. But see, our
Mhm.
heart is that part of us that is it's like our guidance system. Like, our feelings is the language
Yeah.
of our soul, is of our hearts. And so often we don't,
Yeah.
and the main reason why I believe people don't listen to their heart, because they don't trust their heart anymore,
Oh.
because there were
Ooh, I
choices
see
in
that.
this. Oh, like, if they follow their heart
Yep.
and things didn't happen the way they thought it should, or they just had this feeling in their heart that this person is the one and I should be with them, and then they end up in the place where they say that their heart was broken.
Yeah.
But I say that your heart is broken open so that the treasure
Yep.
that's within you can come forth, right?
Yes, Dr. Tracy's, because some people's heart led them across a cliff, over a
Yes,
cliff.
yes. So they no longer trust their heart. But and that's when they put the
Right.
block
But
up. And when you put a block up, guess what? You can't even hear it anymore.
ooh, that's powerful. And
Right.
I love you. Your heart is not broken. It's broken open. It's wide
Open.
open. It bursts open.
Remember, from the inside out. So I
I
wrote
love
a
that.
book. It's called Broken Open: A Truthful Journey into the Heart. See, the reason why I say it was broken open, so that the treasure that's within can come forth. It's like you shifting and seeing it from a whole nother perspective. See, when you
Yeah.
say your heart is broken, it's like it's coming from a place where we see it as being a negative. But if you were in a relationship, like for example with me, when my heart was broken open, it helped me. What I did is I took that last relationship that I was in, where I went through all of the emotional pain, and used
Mhm,
it to
mhm.
be able to identify what love looks like and feels like to me, because that relationship helped me to clearly define clearly defined. So that could be the
Yeah.
purpose
That's
for
that's
that
powerful.
relationship. So I knew, after I looked at this relationship and I thought this and this and this, I did not, I
Yeah.
no longer choose to experience. So what is it on the
Yeah.
opposite side? How do I
Ooh,
need to love myself?
yeah.
Because if you're not loving yourself, how you expect for someone else to love you? If you don't know how to love you, how are you going to
Yeah.
be able to be a demonstration, or be able to, or
Yeah.
share with another person what it looks like? Most often when
Yeah.
I do my workshops and things, and I have the individual say, how do you demonstrate love to yourself? They can write one thing down or two things,
Wow.
but you expect to be in a relationship with someone and expect them
Wow.
to know?
That's
Come on.
right. And
Come
that's
on.
so important. You got to figure out what's going on with you, what's going on with your heart space. What do you want? What do you desire? What moves you? What satisfies you? What pleasure? Everything. But like you
Yes.
said, I totally believe it. People write one or two things down, but then they get mad if the
Yes.
person is not giving them what they desire, and they don't even know what they desire from their hearts.
That is so true. That's what I'm saying. When I, like, in my book, I take the individuals through different exercises and processes. So I give the example of how I went through being able to identify what what love looked like and how it felt to me.
Mhm.
Like, I'm talking about, not again, when I talk about love, I'm not talking about emotion. I'm talking about the power. because remember, it's about, if your heart is not open, then you can't, it's to the degree that it's open will be to the degree that you will experience it and have the capacity to express it. When you love someone, guess who experiences that love first? Because it has to
Mhm.
come through you to them.
Yes. Woo. And I think people miss that. And then they wonder why they're not getting love right, because it's not coming through them. They're giving the other person everything, and it's not even coming through them. It's just going to them. And that
Yes,
real love has to come, it has to channel through you to
yes,
be able
and
to really get it. Because if
yes,
somebody else is not going to feel it the way they should feel it, if it's not coming through you, because coming
yes,
through you is going to come through you in a way where you're going to feel it all over, and they're going to be able to possibly receive it better because they know it's coming from a genuine open space.
yes, that's it. And so often, like, when we have these voids, we're looking for someone to love us, to like fill us up. But if you are not, if you don't know how to love yourself and you're not loving yourself,
Hmm.
then you don't have anything to give anyone else. So
Yeah.
most often, the other thing is that people, when we talk about relationships are mirrors. That person is your mirror. And so if you're not
Yes. Yep.
experiencing the love that you choose to experience, and that person is treating you in a certain kind of way, if you flip it around and say, look at how that person is treating you and what is happening in your relationship,
Mm-hmm.
your experience, then it will help you to make adjustments because you're looking in the mirror.
Right.
I know
Right.
sometimes that's hard to even, wrap your mind around, but if
Right.
someone is cheating on you, like, because I was in a relationship where a person was cheating on me, then I had to stop. And I know sometimes it might sound crazy, certain things that you need to do in order to get on the other side. I had to look at myself, and what matter am I cheating on myself? What does
Ooh.
cheating mean to you? How am I cheating
Mm.
myself in this
Mm.
relationship dynamic? Am
Yeah.
I just
Oh, that's good.
settling? You know,
That's
am
good.
I cheating on myself by not allowing or giving myself the attention and the love that I choose to experience? I don't say want. I don't use the word want. I always say
Yeah.
choose. And you hear me say that so many times, because when you choose something, that means that it exists.
Yeah.
When you say you
Yeah.
want something, that means that it's nowhere around. Like, I look at, like, you got a smorgasbord and you have all these different options. You can go to the smorgasbord. I choose this, this, and this. But if you say I want something, that means you got to go somewhere to get it, or
Yeah.
it doesn't. It's
Yeah.
not within your
Yeah.
experience. So what is it
Yeah.
that you choose?
Yeah. That's good. That's good, Dr. Tracy. All right. I'm ready.
You
I'm
sure?
ready. I'm
Okay.
ready. See, now you scare me when you say, "Are you sure?"
Hey, we
All right,
going
I'm
in.
ready.
Hey, this is
We're gonna
this
do
is
it
called
live. Let's do
just
it.
putting it out there. Just, put it out there, because you made the decision that you're gonna go out there and help your people, and they need to
Yeah,
see. They just got to see. So first,
do
I'm
it.
gonna explain the process so everyone
Okay.
will understand. And
Okay.
so what happens is, like, everything that I do is points to taking a journey within your heart. So whenever I'm doing a workshop, and when I'm doing the heart scan, I'm having you communicate and connect with your heart. So it's the heart scan is process is called AIR, and that's the
Mhm.
acronym. And the reason why I call it AIR, because we can't live without air, right?
Mm.
And the acronym stands for the three areas that affect us the most in our lives. So the first one is abundance. The A stands for abundance, not just
Mhm.
financial abundance, but abundance across the board, like abundance of peace and joy
Mhm.
and things of that nature.
Mhm.
And in each area, it's 12, what I call 12 different um, aspects. The second letter is I, stands for inner journey. It's about your experience of you, your purpose, your passion, and things of that nature. And then the R stands for relationship.
Mhm.
And the most important relationship, as we've been driving it home, is your relationship with yourself, and
Yeah.
then across the board.
Yeah.
So the heart scan is like three steps. The first step, and like I said, each step has 12 different aspects. So the first part is the 12 layers of love, which points to the experience and the manifestation of love within your heart. And then the second part is
Okay.
identifying the emotional blocks that is keeping you from fully
Yeah.
experiencing that layer of love. And then the third
Yep.
part is the call to action. So what
Mhm.
I'll do is I'll give an example in terms of what I experienced when I did my heart scan, right?
Okay.
So this is pointing to a relation, like my
I went from
relationship
nervous
part.
to excited, Dr. Tracy. I think I went from nervous to excited.
Okay, okay. So because we get ready to do this, so I want to make sure everyone understands. So when I did my heart scan, my heart revealed to me that the layer of love that needed my attention that was being affected was my joy. I'm talking about in the relationship dynamic. Joy
Mm,
was being affected. I did not have the
mm,
fullness of joy within that relationship.
mm,
And then my
mm,
heart revealed to me that the emotion that was blocking me from experiencing joy was bitterness. And I was like, I
mm.
had an attitude about that. I was like, I am not bitter. Like, I was like, how am I bitter? I'm the heart doctor. How can I be bitter? And so I went deeper into, okay, so what is bitterness? So then when it was revealed to me, bitterness is frustration, is disappointment, anger, and fear. Because
Mhm.
fear is the foundation. Disappointment,
Mm.
anger,
Yeah.
and fear.
Yeah.
And then when I said, well, yeah, I'm bitter because I
Yeah.
am very, very disappointed. I'm very angry and
Yeah.
frustrated. And there, fear is the foundation of all of it. So this is what my heart revealed to me. Now, mind you, your heart's going to reveal this to you, and I just connect with your heart. Like I said, I'm a heart communicator. My heart told me, in order for you to clear the emotional block of bitterness, my heart said you have to make choices and decisions that are in alignment with who you are,
Woo,
what's
child.
important to you, and what resonates within your heart.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I was bitter, because I was not making choices within that relationship dynamic. I
Oh, that's
wasn't making
good.
choices and decisions based on who I was. I was going along to get
That's
along.
good.
So
That's
if
good.
he was saying, "Oh, we need to do this," and I was like, "Okay," or and making choices, decisions, that wasn't important to me. But I'm
Mm.
just doing it because I'm thinking that if I do this, then the relationship is going to be better, and he's going to love me more, and we're going to be able to do this. And when I say what resonates within my heart, I say that points to doing and experiencing things that make my heart smile. When my heart
Yes.
is smiling, it's what
Yes.
I'm experiencing and who I'm with is resonating. You know. So
Yes. All
that
right.
was,
Yes. 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 Yes.
you ready?
That's
Because
good,
you
Dr.
read.
Tracy. I am. You
Yes.
just got me pumped up. You just got me pumped up.
Seriously, that changed my life when I did my own
Yeah.
heart scan, and my heart said make choices and decisions that is in alignment with who you know that you are.
Mhm. Yeah.
What's
So
important to you? See, I'm talking to
yeah.
even the listeners. If you're in a relationship and you just keep making choices and decisions based on what the other person, what's important to the other person, and if
Mhm.
it's not, because the person I was in, he always was saying you just too deep. Well, this
I
is who
think
I am.
I think I've
So
heard that
right.
before
So if
too.
if if, if every time I have a conversation with you, it's too deep for you, that means I'm not even. You don't even want me to talk.
Come you better co Dr. Tracy, are we twins?
I don't know, because you know what?
That's
Well,
so
how can
cute.
we be in a relationship if every time I have a conversation with you and I'm too deep, then that means, and you can't handle my deepness, then that means I can't even talk. So how are we gonna? How can we be in a? See, I choose a healthy, harmonious relationship. That's my
Yeah.
description.
Ooh,
Healthy,
I love it.
harmonious,
That's
with
what I
open-hearted communication. Can I? Is
yeah.
anybody out there lining up with that?
Yeah. That's what I want. That's right there, a healthy,
That's
harmonious
that's what we
relationship.
choose. That's what we
I didn't
choose,
even get
Linda.
to the take
Kendall.
I didn't even I didn't even get to the takeaway of the wow moment of today's show, and I'm stopping in advance. That's my takeaway. I'm doing it early. A happy, healthy, harmonious relationship.
Yes. With
That's what
open
you
with
said.
open heart share it. And I've been saying this for years and years. And my one of my cousins said, "Oh, I'll be glad when he comes." Because I said, whoever he is, guess what? He loves and adores me. That's
That's
all I
right.
gotta say.
Why was I
Adoring means
saying
like
that?
that's a whole nother level of love. That's like a whole nother level.
Dr.
What-
Tracey, why was I in the bathroom this morning getting ready? And I guess for this reason, I said, God, I want somebody to come into my life who really adores me. I
Hey,
just said that.
we
And you
right here.
just
We
said
right
that
here.
right here because that's a whole different level of love. And that
Yes.
comes from a whole different heart space.
Yes, yes, yes. That's it. And like I know there's one thing that I have learned in terms of relationship dynamic with the in a romantic sense as far as a man, it's very important for them to be respected. So I said a man that loves and adores me and one whom I respect because
That's
that's
so
important. It's important for us to be loved. It's important to them to be respected. So Lord, if you're gonna put them in front of me, please let it be somebody I can respect.
exactly, because sometimes you be wanting to respect them, but then they be acting so unrespectable. And
Right.
then you done messed up because you done disrespected the person, or you don't, not even disrespect, you just don't respect the person. And then it's like, okay, you know what I mean? So I agree with you. Send you somebody, I never thought of it that way, that I can respect.
Yes,
That's
yes,
powerful.
yes.
That's powerful. All right, I'm ready, Dr.
You
Tracy.
ready? You ready? Okay,
Yeah.
so throughout the and one of the things that I want to say as I'm getting this set up is that when I talk about emotional blocks, at first I was thinking it was a negative thing, but it's not. It was revealed to me emotional blocks is just love turned inside out. We
Mm,
just got to flip it the other way. That's it. So what we're gonna do, like I said, we're going on inward journey. I'm gonna have you put your hand on your heart, and you're going to ask your heart questions. And I'm gonna tell you what to ask. You can say it out loud, or you can say it from within your heart. And then after you say it, I want you to say, "My heart is open to receive," because that's the
okay.
most important. Your heart has to be open to receive. And I want to like shit, show. I created these heart-shaped cards because this is a process that I choose for the individual to have an experience and to see and know that their heart will connect and communicate with them. So on this is the front of the card, and on the back there are the 12 different aspects that I have made mention. And I don't look at it. I just pretty much connect with your heart because like I'm the heart communicator and that's a gift that's been given to me. So first, when you again your first question, we're gonna start with the first part
Okay.
one is what. So you're gonna ask your heart, put your hand on your heart, because when you put your hand on your heart, it just takes you right there, shifts you from your mind to your heart, and say to your heart, because we're focused on relationships. So if you're in a relationship dynamic, this is going to speak to that. So we're talking about relationships. So just think about whatever relationship you want to receive a message surrounding. Okay.
Okay.
So you're gonna ask your heart, what layer of love needs my attention right now? And just think about that relationship. And after you do that, say, my heart is open to receive.
Do I say it out loud
It's
or
up
to
to you. You can
myself?
say it out loud. You probably want to since you're on the show.
What layer? What layer? What am I saying? What
What
layer of
layer of
love?
love needs your attention right now?
What layer of love needs my attention right now?
And then say, my heart is open to receive. It's
My heart
open.
is open to receive.
Okay. So, like I said, I don't look at the cards. I just spread them down and whatever jumps out, then that's what so this is what your heart is saying. Knowledge. So I know that so we're talking about knowledge. So knowledge is recognizing, you know what? Let me put my glasses on because a sister can't see. Okay. Recognizing and tapping into the power within to create your reality. So this is talking about knowledge. So when whatever relationship dynamic that you were thinking about, or that in terms of this, your heart is letting you know there is a deeper, something more that needs to be revealed to you surrounding this relationship dynamic. It's like there's knowledge, the fullness of what it is that you need to know surrounding whatever it is that's going on when it's connected to, like, if when your heart reveals to you what emotion that's keeping you from experiencing or or receiving the full knowledge of what's going on in the dynamic, that your heart is saying that it's being blocked because you're not being able to see clearly everything that you need to know when it surrounds this dynamic. And so we're going to find out what is the emotion that's keeping you from fully seeing or receiving what it is that you need to know when it concerns this relationship dynamic. Okay.
So some knowledge I'm not getting from a person, or I will not get from a person. Is that what you're saying?
Well, like, okay, so before we started this, or you asked your heart the question, I wanted you to think about a relationship
Mm-hmm.
that, like, so this is when we go further, when we get to the next two layers, it'll give you more insight
Okay.
in terms of what your heart is saying. But this is pointing to knowledge, something that you
Okay.
need to know or receive and obtain as far as clarity and it when it concerns this relationship dynamic. Okay. So the
Mm-hmm.
next one, we're getting ready to find out what is the emotion that is keeping you from fully experiencing or receiving the knowledge you need to receive when it concerns this relationship or the dynamic. So put your hand on your heart again, and you're going to ask your heart, what is the emotion that's blocking your knowledge?
What is the emotion that's blocking my knowledge?
Okay, and is your heart open to receive?
My,
Okay, my heart
my
is
heart
open
is
to receive.
open to receive it.
Okay, let's see what your heart says. Okay, so your heart is saying there is shame. So shame could point to, now if this is not something that's you are aware of within a relationship dynamic, this could be something that's connected. You know how, like, when we say we create emotional blocks as a result of our journey. So this
Mm-hmm.
could be something that's pointing to something that is going on now, or something that has happened in previous relationships.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So just pay attention to
Yeah.
your heart. But this is,
Mm-hmm.
so there is something in terms of feeling unworthy, guilty, or like fear is the foundation of all emotional blocks. So
Mm-hmm.
it's worthiness and guilt. So those are, I call, elements of the experience. So there's different, just like when I was sharing with you, when my heart revealed to me that I was bitter, and the elements of that experience of bitterness was frustration, anger, and fear. This is pointing to some type of something that has happened, or something might be going on that's connected to shame, or or worthiness, or feeling guilty about something. And like I said, it doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
like, when I do a heart scan and it's connected to a relationship dynamic, because when we're in relationships, we connect on more than one level.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
it could be something that is intertwined from previous, or even in the relationship dynamic period. Because when we're in it connected with someone, we transfer emotions. Like, you coming, like, for example, you're in a house and you feeling all good, and a person comes in, they had a bad
Mm-hmm.
day, and then all of a sudden they bring you down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's called resonance.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever is the strongest dynamic within a relationship is what everything's gonna line up to, because it has to. That's a law.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. Ooh.
just look at all that. Just look at it all,
Mhm.
because your heart's gonna reveal to you. I need you to just pay
Mhm.
attention. Things is
I'm
probably
paying
coming
attention.
up.
I'm paying attention. I'm thinking about a whole lot of stuff. So yeah, it
Yes,
is. Mm-hmm.
yes. That's what I'm saying. And then we're gonna give the audience the opportunity to experience. So now what you're gonna do is you're gonna ask your heart, um, you know, what is the action step? I always call it your call to love. What manner in which you need to love yourself in order to clear that emotional block of shame. So just I'll just say, ask your heart, what is the love that you're calling for right now?
What is the love that I'm calling for right now?
Hmm.
And
And is
allow
your heart open to
my
receive?
my heart is open to receive it. Yes.
Okay, let's see what your heart says. It's gonna be awesome. I get so excited about this. Okay, I'm gonna have to put my glasses on again, because a sister got to read. Have faith in yourself. That's the heading of your card. Have faith in yourself. face your past and learn from your prior
Mhm.
experiences, then let them go and live in the now moment. So
Yeah.
you remember when I said
Yes.
something about that shame is probably connected to something from your journey?
Mhm.
Your heart is saying that for you to have faith in yourself and face your past. Learn
Mhm.
from your past experience. So
Mhm.
whenever you visit the past, only
Yep.
time you visit the past is to glean wisdom. You don't get
Yeah.
stuck there. Just like for example, when I said the relationship that I was in where my heart was broken open, I used that relationship to and look at the relationship dynamic after I was out of the relationship, and I gleaned wisdom from it. The wisdom that I gleaned from is like, okay, this is the way I experienced this relationship dynamic, and I chose to be loved in this manner. So because this person didn't love me in the manner in which I realized that this is what I needed,
Yeah.
just like, you know, you don't know what you don't want or what you need until you
Yeah.
know what you want, until you know what you don't want. Right. So I
Yeah.
had that
Yeah.
experience and it helped me to be crystal clear on what it was that
Yeah.
I chose.
And
Crystal
my
clear.
last relationship was a couple years ago. It was unhealthy in all ways. Yeah, it was. Yep. Mhm.
And
Yep.
so did so was it gave you caused you to feel unworthy in some kind of way in the midst of that relationship because of the way the person was treating you, or what, in what manner do you think, like, the, if you want to share, like, where the shame, why did your heart say that there was some kind of shame that came up? It could be connected to that relationship dynamic, I don't know, but
Because I didn't make wise, knowledgeable choices and decisions.
mhm,
So
mhm,
that knowledgeable, I don't know if that's supposed to go with
yes,
that, but I
yes,
didn't make choices, and I had to not beat myself up
yes.
for the
And
choices, like, "Why didn't you think about this? Why didn't you do it? Why," you know what I mean? And I had to I went through that a little bit, and I had to stop myself, because you make the decisions that you make when you make them, and then but hindsight is 50-50, right? I didn't listen to myself a lot,
yes, and see,
and some of the decisions and choices that I made in that relationship, it has taught me, it has grown me, and I'm thankful and I'm grateful for that, because you can find lesson everywhere, right? There
right,
are
and that's why your card was saying to for you to, like, face the past and learn from it. So that's
Mhm.
the knowledge. Like, so what, when the knowledge came forth, so your heart is revealing to you not just about, like, the knowledge, like, even visiting that whole relationship dynamic with you doing this season 11 is all about relationships. It's like, your heart is saying to you, and it's not everything that we receive and experience is not just for us, especially when we have a heart, like when you say you have a soft heart and you choose to help others, you're
Mhm.
gleaning wisdom from your previous experience and you bringing it forward and being here in the now moment and sharing that the wisdom and the power and the
Yeah.
knowledge, going back to the knowledge, right? That's
Yeah.
what it's saying, and living in the now moment. So your knowledge,
Yeah.
taking the wisdom and the knowledge from the past. So that's how it's
Yeah.
tying in together, and
Yeah.
gleaning, not getting stuck, but
Yeah.
going to your past and gleaning the wisdom from it, the knowledge. So there's more. So your heart is saying there's more for you to learn or
Yeah.
to receive in terms of knowledge when it comes concerns that, because you've been given a charge.
Yeah. And not
This is the
listening to my discernment and listening to myself. Because when those first thoughts pop in your head, that's God, that's your discernment. And
yes.
then sometimes you wash it away and be like, "Oh, well, no, maybe," you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that part I had to forgive myself for not
Listening and
trusting
yep.
my first intuition and my discernment.
Right.
because some of the things that came through my mind that I trusted end up being what I thought the first time.
Right. Right. And then going back to when we was talking about earlier, do you think that people listen to their hearts? See, we don't.
Yep.
We
Nope.
don't.
Nope.
And so one of
Nope.
the things I tell
I do now,
my
honey. So I
yes,
have
I because you were broken
learned from
open in
that.
that
I've
church.
moved past that. It,
Yes.
I was broke, honey. I was broken all the way open, leaking.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because I ignore. I never will I ignore my discernment in my heart again. Like
Yes.
it doesn't work that way now. Now I'm like this. I'm on it because I was
Yes.
always on it, but I would give grace. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
would say, well, maybe not, or I would, you know what I mean? And in the relationship, I didn't even know how to I didn't even know how to function as myself, to
Right.
keep it all
That's
the way
going back
real.
to,
Mhm.
going back to what I was sharing, what my heart revealed
Mhm.
to me, making choices and
Mhm.
decisions that are in alignment
Mhm.
with who you are, what's important to
That
you, and what
that
resonates
part.
within your heart.
That
Yes,
part.
because we're trying to
That
be in
part.
relationships and think that because we, go along to get along,
Yeah,
it's a disservice to ourselves and
it
that
is.
individual that you're in a relationship with.
It is. And it's not about, because it's really, no matter what the other person's done or said or did, whatever, it's not about them. It's
Nope.
about you. And
Yes.
most people go like this. No matter what they've done, they could have done the worst things possible, but it's still not about them.
Nope.
It's about you. That's why you don't hear me on social media saying, let me tell you what I've been through. Let me tell you da 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 da. Da." It's not about them.
Yes. And then
It's about how you move forward
yes.
after.
And your card said have faith in yourself.
Yeah. That makes
Because
me
that
cry.
goes back to you when you said you weren't listening to your
Yep.
heart. You got to have
Yep.
faith in yourself and know
Yep.
who you are.
Yep.
Because
That
when
makes
you,
my eyes are tearing up right now because that's so true.
mm-hmm,
That's so true.
mm-hmm,
And it's so and it's a sad tear and a happy tear. It's a sad tear for her back then, but it's a happy tear for this woman right now.
yes, yes. My heart
Mhm.
is so free. It is so
Mhm.
free. It
Mine
is so
too.
free
Yes.
because I turn inward. I am hyper aware. I always tell people you got to be hyper aware of your inner space because your heart. So
100%.
one of the hyper aware, like hyper, like see, if you're in tune to your heart, like for me, I walk my talk, right? So I'm very in
Mhm.
tune
That's
to my
right.
heart, and like how like when I say like when we talk about the layers of love, it lies in the center point of your heart, and so anytime that I
100%.
feel a shift, like for example, if I don't have peace in my heart, if that means that I'm not in the center point. And I always say that I felt the shift, that
Yep.
means you're falling out of love because love is here.
Yes.
And when you don't experience
Yes.
the fullness of what love is, you're falling out of love.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so unshakable now because it's so because my heart is so free and
Yes,
so
yes,
clear and so intentional and purposeful.
yes,
And I don't have time to waste on it being anything else. And I'm
yes,
such at peace with myself and such in
yes.
a heart space that I don't care what that person does, that person does, that person does. If it does not align with me, then it ain't for me. And I'm
That's right.
100%
That's right.
okay with that.
Amen. And that's
And
the
it's a
reason why when
joy.
you're
It's a joy that nobody can add. Somebody can add to it, but nobody can
can't
take
take
it away.
away. Yes. And that's like when you're hyper aware of your inner space and you will know right away when you're shifting. You'll know
Yeah.
right away. So this
Yes.
is what I share with one of the things in my book as well is shifting into unconditional love, meaning loving yourself unconditionally,
Mhm.
accepting who you are. It was like you stop when you're experiencing, I call
Mhm.
them low
Yep.
level emotions, not negative emotions, but low level emotions, right? So when you're experiencing low level emotions, a lot of times people, and I used to do this, they'll ignore their heart and go find something else to do to distract them from
Yep.
experiencing it. But
Yep.
you have to stop. This is how you shift. You
Yep.
stop in that moment and pay attention to what you're experiencing. You acknowledge what you're experiencing. You accept it, not judge yourself. Oh my
Yep.
God, I'm just doing this again. I'm angry
Yep.
and frustrated. No, you accept it and then you love yourself through it. So in what
That's
manner did the way you love, like for example with you, your action step, if you're having some challenges or you feel yourself shifting out of love, your heart said, have faith in yourself. In that moment,
ooh,
that's the way your heart is telling you to demonstrate love to
ooh,
yourself, by having faith in yourself, gleaning
mm,
from whatever it is, the wisdom
mm,
from whatever it is that you're experiencing,
mm,
and get right back here in the now center
mm,
moment of your heart. That's
You
how
gotta
you
send me. You
demonstrate
gotta
love.
send me. You gotta send me those. Like, send me those. Take a
I
picture.
will. Yes, I
That,
will.
but it's so true to be
Mm.
able to stand in the trust that you have in yourself. And when sometimes when you don't make the most wise decisions, and I talk about this in my book, excuse me, your unhealed is showing, right? Where you have to forgive yourself and heal from choices and decisions that you've made that didn't serve you well, and that you knew
Yes.
that maybe you should have made a different choice. Like, that's a place of healing. So I had
Right.
done that work too, to forgive myself. I used to be that person like, dang, I should have did this. Maybe I should do. I don't do that
Yeah, you're
anymore
shaming.
because
That
you
was
make
a
decisions
way of
and choices.
shaming, like just feeling shame,
Yes,
like, oh, I
shaming
shouldn't have done
yourself.
that. Yes.
Yep, yep, and that's where that shame comes from, where you're
Mm-hmm.
ashamed of even the choices and the decisions that you made, because when you look back with a clearer mind, you like, something had to, even though I didn't realize something, you do know something was going on. Let me tell you something. People see photos of me, people see me in person. They're like, there's a glow. There's something. You look, somebody commented on one of my pictures, like, you look like peace, like you look very
Yes.
peaceful and joyful. Or people be like, there's something different. And I can even see
Mm-hmm.
it in myself when I go back to look at old pictures, when I go back to look old, I was showing my daughters yesterday. I was like, and I thought I was fine.
I know, right?
Honey, I look at them pictures, I be like, who, Harper, who that woman? Because I feel so much lighter.
And
And not
free.
only have I
Free.
lost weight, it's free because because you can hold that too in weight.
Yes. Yes, because weight
With a lot of
is a
things that
form of
you're
protection, trying to
yeah,
protect yourself in the
unaware.
physical. Yes.
Unaware. And then I was sick. I'm a cancer survivor. This in March, it will be my third year cancerversary. So you
Oh,
have
that's
all
awesome. Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you. So when I tell you I feel so free in so many ways, when I look back, I'm like, I'm a different person, spiritually, mentally, physically,
Yes.
internally. I am not the same person. And
This is
even
how
though
I
I was a
describe it.
beautiful soul then,
Yes. Yes. It was covered up. I call it every layer, level, and dimension. Every
yes,
layer, level, and
yes,
dimension of
this
who
was
you
so
are.
this was so
Yes.
good, Dr. Tracy. I'm gonna
Yes.
have you back on. Some of these relationship shows are so good. I'm like, I gotta do a part two, but I want to do, we're running out of time now, but I want you
Okay.
to do our guests, and maybe, after
Yes.
watching this, hey, if you want to come on, maybe we'll do something like that. And then I want
Yes.
you to continue with this. Would you be okay with that?
Oh, yes, for sure. And then to let the individuals know that are listening, if they desire to obtain a personal heart scan, I do heart scans for individuals as well. But it'll be awesome to also come back on and have a a collective heart scan of those listening, because it will ring true. And so, if you want a personal heart scan, my website is Open Heart World, of course, right? Openheartworld.com. And then you can just go on the website and you can book a heart scan if you would like to experience
I love
one prior to me coming back on the show.
Yes. And can you and because how would you do it, like if somebody was listening now or watching now, how can you do it collectively? How does that work?
So it would be the same process. So in terms of how I took you on the process, going in within your heart and asking a question. And so I allow, whatever heart shape, the heart shaped card to come forth, and I've done it before, and I want to, every single person, like I did a event where it was called, falling in love with you, was around Valentine's Day, and I sent each individual for 21 days a love note. And at the end, we came together to celebrate on like a Zoom call. And I did the same thing the way I did it with you. And it was a blanket heart scan. They went in, and every single person shared and received something different, because
I
it was
love that.
it was in relationship to whatever was in their heart. You know how, like, when you go to church and you receive a message and everybody
Yeah.
receives something different?
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
same thing,
I
because
love that.
God knows.
God knows, and God knows, and God reveals in so many different ways,
Yes,
and
yes,
those ways do come from the heart. Like, what are you receiving for it? Or
yes,
from in the heart. I love this. Definitely gonna have you back one or two more times.
yes. I would love to. I really enjoyed this, and I appreciate the opportunity to share. So thank you so much.
You are so welcome. How else? I know you gave that information, but how else can they get in contact with
Yes.
you?
So
And
all of
I
my
just want to
social
know before
media.
you end what.
Yes, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, and I do different workshops that, even with you, experience the heart scan, and I do something called Connect and Paint, where you go on this journey into your heart and like actually do the heart scan, and then you receive a heart shaped canvas, and it represents your heart, and you have an opportunity to do like the flow art, and when you get done, it's like a picture of your heart, and you write the layer of love on the back, and then the emotional block on the front, and you pour the paint over the emotional block, and it's like the paint represents love that you're pouring on your heart, and
Who
it's
is going
so
to join me?
exciting.
Who is going to join me in Atlanta? I'm gonna have to come. I'm in Maryland. I'm gonna have to come to Atlanta to do that. Don't be
Oh yes,
surprised
and I
one day
and I
when I reach
travel.
out
I
to.
travel as well. And if you have a group of ladies or gentlemen, because gentlemen, they really enjoy it as well. If you can get a group together, I will come and do it there. I promise you.
Oh, you will come to Maryland? Oh, it's
Yes,
done.
ma'am.
We're gonna
Yes,
talk.
ma'am.
Make sure when you put in the message, put your information. It's done. We're gonna do that. We're gonna work out
Okay,
some.
that sounds good. That'll be
Yes,
awesome. Definitely,
yes,
I
this
will
is gonna be
come.
good.
I will come.
Because I'm having and I'll talk to you offline, but I'm having an event
Okay.
for so that's gonna be perfect to do
Yes,
that.
let's
That's
do
gonna be
it. Let's
perfect.
do it. Okay. Well, you want me to put it in the chat? I'll put my number in the chat, and then in my email, you already have it, and then we
Yeah,
can just go from there. And
yeah.
I would
My
love to
last
do that.
I love it. My last question that I ask my guests, Dr. Tracey, what brings you joy? Oh, she probably thought it was over. So I'll ask you guys, what brings you joy and how did you love that episode? I had no idea what was going to come up for me, what was blocking my heart from love, if it is blocking for love, or what is blocking my heart, or what is just in my heart, right? And she was dead on with a lot of things. Most of that I can think of things. So when she does yours, you'll be able to, like she said, when you go to church, everybody gets a different message from that same message that the pastor or preacher is giving. But all right, y'all, I appreciate everybody. Thank you. Oh, there she is. She's back. I was like,
Oh,
what
I'm
happened?
so sorry. I don't know what happened, but what brings me
No,
joy,
there you
I know
go.
that this might sound just like, oh, whatever. What brings me joy is to be able to share what's in my heart, and to be able to see how individuals' lives change as a result of what I've been blessed with to share.
Mhm.
I really enjoy, like, even being a part of your podcast and just sharing the information and the knowledge and the wisdom that has been given to me, and to see
Mhm.
you get all excited about it. This really is something that really brings me joy. I promise you. Doing the connect and paint, I get so excited with doing it because I love seeing all of the beautiful art that comes forth. Doing what I do what I love
Yeah.
and love what I do, and it brings me so much joy. I promise you.
I love that, and what I do brings me joy too, so I totally get that. It's my happy place. Like, I got 3 shows today back to back. As soon as I jump off and I'm happy and I'm gonna be fine, and I love it. It brings me joy. So I am
Ye-
with you on that. But Tracey, thank Dr. Tracey. I'm gonna put some respect on your name. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
thank you. Thank
That was
you
a
so
lot of
much.
hard work. Thank you for joining me on Shine with Kendéll Lenice. I so appreciate you. This is awesome. Guys, this
Yes.
is available on YouTube live as you're watching it now, and the playback will still be up. And to all my audio listeners who have been riding with me for 11 seasons of Shine with Kendéll Lenice, I am not forgetting about you. Just because I'm doing the visual new, I still got you over in the audio. It's available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and so many other podcast platforms. I thank you guys for continuously supporting the show. Remember, tune in and tell a friend. Share this out. This is the kind of things I always say, like, should go viral when we're having honest and open conversations of the heart. Everybody, thank you so much for listening and watching to Shine with Kendéll Lenice. Watching Shine with Kendéll Lenice. You are a star. Don't allow anyone to dim your shine. Till next time, God bless y'all. Peace. Thank you, Dr. Tracy.
Thank you.
Bye.